I'm really sorry to say this, but I think this might be DJI's first misstep in a long time. Although possibly I'm wrong and I just don't get this drone. But let me explain. This is the DJI Flip drone, and like all DJI's drones, it shoots great quality photos and great quality videos. In fact, the quality of the imagery out of this is arguably, and I think from what I've seen so far, nearly just as good as what you get out of the Mini 4 Pro. It actually has the same size sensor, and similar to this drone, the Flip will shoot 4K at up to 60 frames per second at a high bit rate, but this costs less than £400 compared to the Mini 4 Pro, which starts at nearly 700. Now, unlike the Mini 4 Pro, you will notice this is quite a bit different. The propellers are surrounded. They've got built-in guards, and that is because this drone is designed to be flown without a controller. Now, yes, you can fly this drone with a regular controller, and there's two different controller options you can buy with this drone. But the main selling point with this drone is that you just open it up and it switches itself on, as you've seen. You push a button on the side to select a mode.
Circle, rocket, spotlight, direction track, follow.
Set it in your palm, press and hold this button for 2 seconds,
Medium,
and it will take off automatically.
2, 1.
And now it'll follow me around. No controller, nothing to worry about. It's just doing it automatically. And with all these features, you've got options within the smartphone app that you can connect to the drone to pick the distance and pick the angle and things like that. This spotlight mode is quite useful if you need to walk while showing something. Normally you need a camera on a tripod and somebody maybe operating that tripod. Just put the drone up, record your audio on a wireless mic. An entirely autonomous flight, and when I want to land it, I just turn around and stick my hand under it and it lands. Pretty cool. You can also connect the drone to your phone, which lets you fly it with on-screen controls, but also it lets you record audio from your phone to the drone. And now the audio that you're hearing is coming from my phone, being automatically sent to the drone and synced to this video. Pretty cool. And I'm going to stop because it's in the tree. No, come back. So I just crashed in a tree there. And that's a little bit of a hint of the start of the issues with this drone. Because unlike the Mini 4 Pro, which has got obstacle avoidance sensors all around it, this doesn't, and that's a problem. Actually, I do want to give it credit because for the money, what this drone can do for under £100 is pretty incredible. It's easy to take these things for granted as technology advances every year. The fact for under £400 you can get a drone that shoots professional quality video and photographs, that you can fly and use it like a normal drone. It's got most of the features you'd expect to find in other DJI drones, including some advanced ones like shooting 10-bit D-log footage. It's got subject tracking, it'll do hyperlapses, it's got quick shots. But it's not that simple because there is a cost to this design. Because for me, this feels like an attempt from DJI to compete with other autonomous drones that are appearing on the market. So they've produced a very affordable drone that's cheaper than those other ones, but actually I think this probably should have been more expensive. And I'm surprised I'm actually saying that about any piece of technology because there's some serious downsides to this drone that I don't think that DJI have been clear enough about. So firstly, on paper, this has the same wind resistance as the Mini 4 Pro, and that's 24 miles per hour. But I was suspicious about that from the start because just look at that cross section. Look at the surface area that has the potential to catch the wind. You've got all this edge of these ducts. There's a lot more surface area on this. And that made me suspicious from the start that it could perform as well as the Mini 4 Pro. And actually, that's exactly what happened. I went out cycling in winds that are around 15 miles per hour. I put this drone up, got it to track me on the bike, and it was promptly blown into a metal post, spun around, and landed in a puddle. Those are conditions that the Mini 4 Pro would not have had a problem with. Then, if you watch the promo video, it shows this drone following people through a forest, and it looks like it's narrowly avoiding leaves and branches. Later in the promo, it talks about the infrared 3D sensing system on the front. What does that make you think? It makes you think that this has got some kind of clever obstacle avoidance technology in it. And yes, it does have some kind of clever obstacle avoidance technology built into it. But it comes with a catch. So I assumed if it could follow those people through a forest, it could follow me through quite a wide doorway. So I jogged through the doorway, the drone flew along, didn't stop, didn't try to avoid the doorway, smashed straight into the doorway, flipped and fell on the ground. And now the gimbal on it is broken and some of the footage has come out wobbly. And previously, when I've been testing it, again, in what I thought were very similar conditions to the promo, it just kept crashing into leaves and branches and trees. It just didn't seem to be avoiding them at all. And I couldn't understand it until I watched the promo again. And if you pause it at just the right moment and look at the bottom, that's where you'll see the shocking small print. Intelligent functions, including subject tracking, do not support obstacle avoidance. But it's ridiculous that this is being marketed as an autonomous drone and it won't avoid obstacles. So after showing the drone following people through trees and implying that it was an autonomous flight, DJI actually say, oh no, you can't actually do that because obstacle avoidance isn't active. I think the reality is that in order to keep the costs down, this infrared 3D sensing system that was put on into the promo as seeming like some kind of new advanced technology is actually probably older, cheaper technology than the obstacle avoidance sensor that is on the Mini 4 Pro and other drones. They've done it to keep the cost down, and doing so, they've compromised this drone. But I'm not done yet, because in the promo for this video, they show it following somebody over the top of water, quite low to the water, maybe a couple of meters off the water. And again, you might be forgiven for thinking that was an autonomous flight. But if you read in the manual, it says in the PAM takeoff section, do not fly over water. So if you think you're going to buy this drone and get it to follow you with your paddleboarding or kayaking, think again. It'll need to be piloted by somebody else. And when it comes to water in general, the manual says avoid obstacles, crowds, trees and bodies of water. Recommended height is at least 6 meters above the water. After in the promo showing the drone flying only a couple of meters, they say, oh yeah, you should be 3 times higher than that. I'm not angry, DJI. I'm honestly disappointed, because this is the first time I've felt that I've been a bit misled by their marketing for a product. And I feel like lots of people are going to do what I did, watch that promo, think it's capable of things it's not capable of, and they're going to go out and crash it and break it. This drone is actually quite a bit bigger than the Mini. It doesn't look too bad when it's opened up, but if you fold it down, and it's quite clever how it folds down, it ends up being significantly bigger than the Mini, which means it's just not as easy to carry around. And a third bigger, a third bulkier. And yeah, initially I didn't think that would be a problem, because I thought, well, I'll just go out and I'll use it with my phone. I don't need a controller. But the Wi-Fi range is pretty rubbish. It's like maybe 30 meters, which is not good at all. And I find in practice, I get even less distance than that. That's about as far as I can get it when I'm controlling it with my phone before the signal gets really ropey. And the other thing I found is that flying it with just your phone is hazardous. Occasionally it would disconnect from my phone without warning, and I couldn't get it to reconnect again. Well, this is a fine how-to-do. I flew my drone up, it lost connection with the app, and instead of intelligently flying back down to Earth again, it's just hovering up there and won't come down, and I can't get it to reconnect. I'm going to have to stand here until the battery runs out. And I had to just stand there for about 5-10 minutes until the battery got low and the drone automatically landed itself. I think that's why they tell you not to fly it over water. And honestly, that was dangerous. There are circumstances, if it got stuck in the air and didn't come back down, it could get windier, the drone could blow away, that could be a problem, it could be dangerous for somebody else. So I guess to conclude, I'm really conflicted with this drone because if you understand the limitations, if you understand the autonomous features and flying it with your phone, you really only want to be doing that in sort of safe, flat environments where if something goes wrong, the drone's not going to make a menace of itself. And if you understand those limitations and that's still going to be useful for you, well then this is actually still a good drone for the money. It is. Also, if you're not really worried about wind resistance as well, if you live somewhere that's not too windy, it is very good for the money. However, if you do have money to spend and are in one of two camps, I've got two other drones you might want to look into. So first of all, if you just want a drone that shoots high quality video, you can fly it like a normal drone, you're not too worried about the autonomous features, I would massively, highly recommend the Mini 4 Pro. Yes, it's a few £100 more expensive, but it's got much better wind resistance, it's got much better obstacle avoidance built in, and it packs down much, much smaller. This drone is brilliant and it's probably my most used drone. Or if you really want an autonomous drone that shoots good quality video and it's really about those automatic features, well then I would maybe suggest taking a look at this. This is the Hover Air Pro Max and it is actually smaller than the Flip. It's a similar weight, but the shape of it actually makes it much easier to carry. It's got better wind resistance, it's got much better tracking, it's got much greater range when you control it with your phone. This can fly up to 150 meters with the phone. It's a much more stable connection than the Flip. And it's got loads of other really good features in there as well. There's a controller option for it. The downside is this is a lot more expensive. Also, you can see on the back, it's got, look at that, it's got obstacle avoidance on the back of it. You can look up some of the comparisons between these two drones. This outperforms that on tracking obstacle avoidance every single time. Biggest disadvantage with this drone is it's a lot more expensive. The video quality maybe isn't just as nice as DJI's and it doesn't fly in the air as much. But if you really value that autonomous flight, this is probably the best option out there currently. So that's it for the DJI Flip, a good drone for the money with some serious limitations.